15 years earlier, the night smelled of rain and burnt noodles. Mai stood outside her sister's apartment, clutching a bag of groceries. Inside, chaos breathed. Lan's voice echoed through the thin walls, arguing with someone unseen. 3 small children huddled in the corner, eyes wide and hollow. The television blared cartoons. No one was watching. Mai placed the food on the counter and turned off the stove. "Have you eaten?" she asked softly. No one answered. Lan slammed a door and disappeared into another room. Mai knelt beside the kids, her heart cracking. "Come on," she whispered. "We'll eat together." That night, they shared rice and boiled eggs, the simplest meal of her life. When she left, they clung to her skirt. She came back the next day. And the next. At first, only to help. Then to stay. Weekends became weeks. Her small apartment grew crowded with laughter and school books. Lan visited less and less. Bills multiplied like shadows. Mai sold her old jewelry to buy uniforms and pencils. She worked overtime at the clinic, eyes heavy but spirit unbroken. She learned to braid Han's hair before school. She learned B letter 1EA3. O liked extra sugar in his tea. She learned Di couldn't sleep without the hallway light on. Her bed became theirs when the nights grew cold. She slept on the pull-out sofa, dreaming of peace she never asked for. Neighbors whispered, calling her kind. They didn't see the tears she wiped alone in the dark. Lan would appear sometimes, asking for money, promising to change. Mai always hoped she meant it. But each visit ended with shouting and slammed doors. The children stopped calling her Aunt Mai. One morning, Di said it first. "Mom." She froze, the word slicing through her heart like sunlight. It felt wrong to claim it. Yet it fit. The others followed. Mom for homework. Mom for comfort. Mom for everything. She never corrected them. Years passed in quiet endurance. The children grew strong and certain. Lan's absence became normal, her number disconnected. Mai signed school papers, paid doctor bills, attended every parent meeting. She hid exhaustion behind gentle smiles. Every photo on the wall told the same story. 3 faces blooming under her care. Sometimes, late at night, she'd whisper apologies to the ceiling. Sorry for not being enough. Sorry for taking what wasn't hers. But in her heart, she knew the truth. Blood never made a mother. Love did. And she loved them more than life itself. So she kept showing up. Every morning. Every meal. Every milestone. Until one day, she looked up and realized they no longer needed saving. They had already been saved. The photo went online on a quiet Sunday afternoon. A simple post. A caption that read, "Grateful beyond words." Within minutes, hearts and comments filled the screen. Mai smiled, unaware she had opened a door she thought was sealed. Her phone buzzed again. A number she hadn't seen in years. Blocked once upon a time. Now resurrected. The message slid across the screen like poison. "I see my bobbies are doing well. We should talk." Her stomach turned cold. Lan. The name alone stole her breath. 15 years erased in one line. Mai set the phone down, hands trembling. Then it rang again. Her mother's name lit the display. "Mai," Mrs. Hand's voice was soft, too soft. "I saw your post. How generous of the children." Silence pressed between them. "You should call your sister," her mother continued. "Family must stay together, especially when there's money." Mai's throat burned. Money. Always the same word that divided them. She hung up before the guilt could sink its claws in. But the past had already woken. The next day, coworkers whispered in the hallway. "Her sister came by," someone said. "She asked for her." Mai kept her head down, pretending not to hear. At night, she checked her messages again. More notifications. Lan had posted new photos. A polished profile picture. Her hair styled, her smile perfect. And beneath it, words that stole my breath. Proud mother of 3 amazing children. Post after post showed Han's graduation. B letter 1EA30S photo exhibit. Di's promotion. All stolen from their public pages. All claimed as hers. My stared at the screen until her vision blurred. Lan had rewritten history. She had stolen their story. The phone buzzed again. Another message. Must be nice living off my children's success. The cruelty of it hit like a slap. After years of scraping together rent. After skipping vacations, promotions, and sleep. Now she was the thief. That night, she poured wine with shaking hands as Barbara knocked on the door. Her oldest friend stepped in, face tight with worry. Lan's stirring trouble again, Barbara said. She commented on your post. Behind her stood Frank, the retired lawyer from next door. He nodded, calm but firm. Money brings out the sharks, he said quietly. Mai wanted to laugh, but the sound caught in her throat. Her phone vibrated again. A new message from Han. Mom, she just messaged me on Instagram. Another from B letter 1EA30. She's following us. Then Di called, his voice low. She showed up at the studio. The room tilted. 15 years of peace cracked open like glass. Lan wasn't just reaching out. She was circling, waiting for weakness. And Mai knew the truth deep in her bones. The past never dies quietly. It waits. It watches. And it always comes back for what it thinks it's owed. The cafe smelled of cinnamon and old memories. Mai arrived early, hands cold despite the warm cup in front of her. She didn't want this meeting. But hiding had never stopped Lan before. When Lan walked in, the air changed. She wore expensive perfume, hair freshly dyed, smile rehearsed. Mai, she said brightly, as if they were old friends. You look the same. Mai nodded, polite, distant. Lan sat down, uninvited. I ordered you a chai latte, she said. You used to love those. Mai didn't answer. She hadn't touched chai in years. Lan leaned forward, lowering her voice. I've missed you, missed the kids too. They're adults now, Mai replied quietly. Lan waved a dismissive hand. They'll always be my bobbies. The words hit like a bruise. Lan reached into her purse and pulled out a folded paper. I've been thinking, she said, smiling too wide. It's only fair you share the money they gave you. Mai's stomach turned. Lan slid the paper across the table. A handwritten agreement, full of messy numbers. $20,000. For carrying them, for raising them before you took over, Lan said. It's just fair. Mai stared at the paper, then at her sister. You left them hungry, she said softly. You forgot them at school. I remember every tear. Lan's expression hardened. I was struggling. You wouldn't understand. I understood enough to show up, Mai whispered. Lan's tone sharpened. You poisoned them against me. You always wanted to be the mother. Mai's chest ached, but her voice stayed steady. They called me that because you weren't there. Lan's mask cracked. They owe me. Those ungrateful brats owe everything to me. Heads turned at nearby tables. Mai stood up, clutching her purse. Thank you for the tea, she said. Lan's hand shot out, gripping her wrist. Sit down, we're not finished. Mai pulled free. We are, she said firmly. I won't apologize for loving them. Lan's voice rose, sharp and venomous. You think you're perfect, the saint who saved them. You stole my life. The barista appeared, eyes wide. Is everything okay here? Mai nodded, calm despite the storm inside her. We're fine. Lan glared, trembling with rage. She's stealing my children's money. Mai walked out, each step heavier than the last. Outside, sunlight struck her face, blinding and cold. Her hands shook as she reached her car. Keys slipped from her fingers. Someone bent down to help. "My," a gentle voice said. It was Mrs. Fuang, the twins' old teacher. "I saw what happened," she whispered. "You never missed a single meeting, not once." Mai blinked back tears. "Do you remember her?" Mrs. Fuang smiled sadly. "I remember the mother who showed up." The words lingered long after she drove away. Lan's voice still echoed in her head. But for the first time, Mai realized something stronger. The truth didn't need defending. It only needed to be lived. Night settled heavy over the house. Mai sat at the kitchen table, papers spread before her like battle plans. Bills, receipts, school forms, old report cards. 15 years of proof that love had weight. The door opened. Han entered first, still in her white coat from the hospital. "She came to my floor," she said quietly. She faked chest pains just to see me. B letter 1EA30 arrived next, camera slung over her shoulder. "She tried to book a family photo session," she said bitterly, "and used our old address." Dai followed last, jaw tight. "She was outside my building yesterday." The room fell silent. Mai looked at their faces, grown but still her children. "She's getting desperate," she murmured. Frank, the retired lawyer, sat across the table. He adjusted his glasses. "Desperate people make mistakes," he said. "She sent this too," Mai added, handing him a printed email. Lan's words were sharp and cold. Threats of secrets. Demands for money. And a fatal mistake. She had copied half the town, including Mai's boss. "Classic Lan," Dai muttered. "Can't even blackmail properly." Han crossed her arms. "We can't let her keep twisting the story." Mai sighed. "What do you want to do?" B letter 1EA3. O placed a small video camera on the table. "We tell the truth," she said. "All of it." Mai hesitated. "Once it's public, it won't go away." "It already isn't private," Han replied. "She made it public the moment she lied." They set up the camera, the red light blinking alive. One by one, they spoke. Han started first, her voice steady. "I used to sleep in my shoes, in case we had to run." B letter 1EA30 followed. "She promised birthday parties that never happened." Then Dai. "I waited outside school for hours, until Aunt Mai came." Mai's turn came last. Her throat tightened. She spoke of late shifts, empty refrigerators, quiet sacrifices. The truth poured out like a dam breaking. When they finished, the sun had slipped behind the trees. Frank turned off the camera, voice low. That's enough to end her story. The next morning, Mai's phone buzzed. A message from Barbara. She started a GoFundMe, it read. Mai opened the link. "Help a mother reclaim her stolen life," the headline said. Lan's version painted her as a victim, a saint betrayed. But the comments below told a different story. "Mai took care of my son when no one else could. She paid for my daughter's school books. She never asked for anything in return." Names from the past filled the screen. Neighbors, teachers, friends. All remembering. Frank smiled softly. "This is backfiring," he said. Mai wiped a tear she didn't expect. The truth was finally loud enough. And for the first time in years, she didn't feel alone. She felt seen. She felt believed. And she knew the fight wasn't over, but the tide had turned. Love had spoken louder than lies. The night was cold when Mai arrived at her mother's house. The same house where every holiday once ended in silence. Lan was already there, seated like a queen in father's old chair. Family filled the living room, faces tight with curiosity. Mai's mother stood near the fireplace, voice trembling. "We're here to heal this family," she said. Mai stepped forward, the children behind her. "I came," she said, "but I didn't come alone." Lan's smile froze. The room hushed as Dai placed a recorder on the table. "What's that?" Lan snapped. "Documentation," he answered. Everyone deserves to hear the truth. Lan's voice softened, practiced and sweet. I've missed my children, she said, tears shining. Every day without them broke my heart. Han leaned forward. 3,217 days, she said. Lan blinked. What? That's how long you've been gone, Han continued. Minus the 2 times you showed up uninvited. B letter 1EA30 reached into her bag, pulling out 3 worn journals. My kept these, she said. Every memory you missed. Lan's hands trembled. Mother Han intervened quickly. Let's not dwell on the past, she said. Family must forgive. Forgiveness, Mai said quietly, requires acknowledgement. Did she acknowledge leaving them alone for days? Did she admit stealing support checks? Did she ever say sorry? No one answered. Lan waved a hand, scoffing. She's exaggerating. Look how well they turned out. She pointed at the children. They're successful because of me. Her tone sharpened. You're sitting on $45,000 that should be shared. Mai almost laughed. So that's what this is about, she said. Not regret, not love, just money. Lan leaned closer, whispering like poison. There are family secrets you wouldn't want exposed. The old fear flickered in Mai's chest. But it faded when Dai's hand found hers. Mai stood, her voice steady. I fed your children when your cupboards were empty. I stayed when you disappeared. I worked overtime for their dreams while you chased yours. One by one, the children rose. Han spoke first. She helped me write my medical school essay. B letter 1EA30 followed. She saved for months to buy my first camera. Then Dai. When I broke my arm, she sat beside me all night. Mai opened the journals and placed them on the table. Here is the truth, she said. Years of showing up when you wouldn't. Lan's mask shattered. You were just a backup mother, she screamed. The replacement no one wanted. The words hung heavy in the air. B letter 1EA3, OS eyes filled with tears. She was the only mother we had, she said. The only one who stayed, Dai finished. Lan's rage turned to silence. Mother Han covered her mouth, eyes wet. The family sat frozen, the weight of truth pressing down. Mai gathered the journals, her children close behind. We're done here, she said softly. They walked out together, leaving the lies behind. Outside, the night felt different. Not cold. Clean. Free. A year passed. The house no longer echoed with fear or waiting. Sunlight spilled across polished wood and lavender curtains. Mai turned 53. The same purple streamers fluttered gently above the dining table. Han lifted her glass, smile bright and sure. To Mai, she said. Not just for another year, but for everything you've given. B letter 1EA30 arranged the banner behind her, hand-painted letters glowing. Happy birthday, Mom. The word still startled Mai sometimes. It felt too big and too beautiful to belong to her. Dai adjusted his camera, recording laughter instead of tears this time. Friends crowded the kitchen, the air full of warmth. Frank stood by the window, holding a folder of papers. Retirement projections, he said with a grin. Looks like you can finally rest. Mai laughed softly. Maybe after one more adventure. She opened an envelope. Inside were travel brochures and handwritten notes. The National Parks Tour, B letter 1EA30 said. The one you always dreamed about. Mai's chest swelled. Yellowstone first, she whispered. Then Zion, then the Grand Canyon. Barbara raised her wine glass, eyes twinkling. Not alone, I hope. Mai glanced at Frank, his smile quiet and kind. Not necessarily, she replied. The room erupted in teasing laughter. Later, she wandered to the bookshelf. An old photo waited there. A younger Mai, dark circles under her eyes, holding 3 small children. She traced the frame gently. I remember this day, Han said behind her. You worked a double shift just to pay the deposit. Mai nodded. Worth every hour. B letter 1EA3. O hugged her from behind. You told me once you lost years of your life, she whispered. Mai turned and smiled. I was wrong, she said. I didn't lose anything. I gained everything. Dai joined them, towering now but still her boy. To the woman who taught us what family means, he said. Her eyes burned, but her heart felt weightless. Her phone buzzed on the table. Her mother's name flashed again. For the third time this month. Is it her? Han asked carefully. Mai looked at the screen, then turned it face down. She can wait, she said. Today is ours. The evening faded into gold. Neighbors, coworkers, and friends filled the yard. The garden she'd built bloomed wildly, purple flowers everywhere. Frank sat beside her on the porch swing, their hands almost touching. You've changed lives, you know, he said. Mai shook her head. I just showed up, she replied. From the open door came laughter and clinking glasses. Her phone chimed again. 3 messages in a row. Love you, Mom, from Han. Love you, Mom, from B letter 1EA30. Love you, Mom, from Dai. Mai typed back slowly. Love you more, always have, always will. She looked through the window at the framed photo above the mantel. The check, the smiles, the family that chose her. Outside, the night deepened, soft and forgiving. And for the first time in her life, she truly felt home. The house was quiet after the guests had gone. Only the soft ticking of the clock remained. Mai stood by the window, watching the last lights fade across the garden. Purple petals glimmered under the porch lamp. She thought of every year spent fighting shadows and silence. Every night she wondered if love had been enough. Now she knew it had always been more than enough. On the mantel, the framed photo of the children smiled back at her. The check beside it shimmered like a memory, not a prize. She touched the glass gently, whispering a thank you to the past. Outside, wind rustled the trees, carrying laughter from earlier. Her heart felt steady, full, unafraid. No ghosts left to face. No debts to pay. Only tomorrow, waiting quietly. She turned off the lights, the house warm behind her. Through the stillness came one last echo of their voices. Love you, Mom. Mai smiled in the dark. You don't need blood to belong, she thought. You just need to stay when everyone else walks away. And she had stayed. Always.